G'day, it's Greenie here, holding that away so you can't see my wrinkles. I'm just going to show you some ranunculus progress. I have got lots of corms out of the ground, there's some seed setting, and I've been scooching for corms in the soil. So let's just turn you around so you don't have to look at me, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So, just in this bed here is the sown from seed ranunculus that was in this bed. I did lose quite a few. You can see the bald spots in the soil. I lost quite a few corms to the blackbirds, and there's a self-seeded tomato coming up in there. I'm letting these go to seed. Some of the colours I liked, some I didn't. I'm not a fan, it's dying off now, but you'll get the idea. Not a fan of that one, not a fan of that one, but I don't mind that orangey, I like that orange. But anyway, there are some that I'm not going to keep the corms from. The poppies did really well. They've got setting their seed pods now, and I'll collect the seed again for next year. They took forever, thought I'd lost them, and bam, up they came. I'm just scooching over, covering over and killing grass here to put some mulch down. Oh, let's say hi to the girls. Hey girls, gonna say hi? Gonna say hi? No, they're not saying hi. All right, let's go back. Yes, so I'm killing off grass here. I just want to have one square of grass out the back. Let's go over and see what I'm doing. So I've started putting some cardboard down just to keep the blackbirds out. And you can see that the ranunculus are dying off. This one here is from my favourite coloured corm, so I've already pulled some dried seed pods off. There's another one there, nearly dry. There's one there, nearly dry. But I'm just waiting for them all, and then I'm going to pull that corm up. I haven't pulled this one up because it's still got a fair bit of green on it. Likewise, that one, there's a dahlia peeking up in there. Ran out of space for the dahlias. So you can see there's still a few. I'm just waiting for them to die off. I've been pulling them up. I'll show you, I'll pull one up for you, another dahlia coming there. This one's almost ready to come up. You can see the leaves are really dry, but I'm just waiting for the seed to set so I can pull some seed up. So you can see they're really scrappy. That's a self-seeded feverfew, I think. Anyway, they're looking really bedraggled now. We had some heavy rain for a whole day, and I lost a lot of petals. There's still the occasional one that looks rather lovely, but really it's past end of season. So just waiting for these to all come up. One thing I do is I just get down close in the soil, and I'll see if I can spot one. I've already done a corm hunt. That might be one there. No. What happens is the blackbirds scooch up the corms and looking for the worms underneath, and they've taken out all my labels, so goodness knows what colour they are. The strawberries are trying to come back up through the bed. They'll get suppressed down. I'm just trying to see if I can find a corm dug up by the blackbirds. You can see here, this one here. Oh, there's one. There's an example. A corm just dug up by the blackbirds, just sitting on the top of the soil. I was going to pull one up from these dead leaves, but I'm going to leave that a bit. So I missed this one earlier when I did the scooch through. Then I'm going to just give you an example. I'll just sit down here and show you what I've done all along here around the ranunculus. I just sit down on the concrete beside the garden bed, and I usually use a little spade, but I'll just use my hand for this purpose. And I just scooch through, and I look. You can see there's a little leg of a corm, but it's not got an eye, it's just one leg. Probably pulled off by a blackbird. So what I just do is I scooch through all the soil, and I find corms. This has been scooched through already, but when I have them all up, I'm going to do one final thorough scooch through, because let me just put that corm on top in amongst, so you can see they're there, but they'd be easy to miss, especially if they're sort of down in the soil a bit. So I am just doing a scooch through all this soil, and you'd be surprised just how many corms I do find when I go through it. So we'll have a thorough go through, looking for corms that the foliage on the top came off from, or they've got dug up by blackbirds and then covered over again. So it's a work in progress. It's very messy. and I'm not that happy with how it looks. I just have to get up now. Not that happy with how it looks because it's end of season and everything looks terrible, but it will all get covered over. I've actually got much bigger cardboard boxes that will cover over everything and suppress the strawberries underneath. I'm just going to take you in the shed again. Brought you in here the other day. This one, I don't know what the variety is, and this is my box of mixed ranunculus corms. I'll just turn the radio down a titch more. I had it blaring, and I can't have music play on the video. I'm not monetized, but I still don't want to cause trouble by having music. So you can see some of the corms are sizable. Excuse my dirty hands, I've been gardening with no gloves on as per usual. So some of them are very sizable. Let me find a teeny tiny little one and just show you. And I have gone to the effort of saving, there are smaller ones than that even. I have gone to the effort of saving the tiny ones because I'm a look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves kind of girl. And some are very tiny from this year. I think a really tiny one. I'll bet on the bottom. I just think that if I grew them from seed and they're tiny this season, they'll be bigger next season. There's an example. Like they're really, you can see my dirty wrinkly fingers. Some of them are really tiny. There's smaller ones than that, but not many. So I just want to show you what I do. I've got some like this, and what I will do is trim the stalk off, and I might trim off a couple of those really wispy roots. I just need to get that in view. You can see a wispy root coming into view over that seedling tray. And I always check the other end, and if there's any seed on it, I collect that. So that one will just get chopped off. Here's an example of one that wasn't quite browned off. It's close enough, but dug up by the blackbirds. So I put them in this tray until they're dry, and when I'm sure they're dry, I trim them down and put them in here. Now I did have a couple that I wondered if they might have had a bit of mold on them. And if you get mold on them, you can lose the whole lot. Like, is that mold? I don't know, maybe. So I might be going over them with a bit of hydrogen peroxide and getting them out in the sun. The problem is a lot of these came up in the rain and dug up by blackbirds, and I've just put them in the box and let them dry. And like, there's another tiny one. Where'd you go? I dropped you. Like lots of really little small corms, but I'm saving them. They'll be a proper size corm sooner or later. So that's what they look like dried off. There's my drying process, and you can see there's a couple of seed heads that may or may not develop viable seed. So those ones are mixed colour, and the problem is that the blackbirds had dug up my little tags. So here I've got yellow, and I have got some nice big corms. That one needs trimming back and tidying up, but I've also got tiny ones as well. There's a tiny one. Here's an example. So, and then I've got a jar to collect my seed in with a yellow label in it. And I'm sure I've shown you that you need to look for the little black spot in the seed. So there's some yellow. Let's go across the way. I've got a real mess. I've got a real mess, but here we go. So pale orange, I've got pink. You can see that I've got some heads just floating about, seed heads waiting. Here's one in the pale yellow variety where I'm getting more dried seeds collected in the bottom of the jar. That one there is actually falling apart. It needs to go down into the jar before they all go all over the floor, or they'll just get swept up. So I've got some crimson ones in there. This is a big mess. This is my next one to tidy up, and I'm going to do that tonight after I finish filming. I've just realised I've turned my camera around 45,000 times, and this is not going to be straight. Should I film again? I'm going to play it back and see how bad it is, and because I'm such a dinky little YouTube channel, I'm also going to decide that I don't care that I turned my camera around 500,000 times, and that you had to screw your head around in 500,000 directions to see what I was doing. So I sit on my paint bucket and I get my little trusty tray of whatever. So you can see there's some nice dry seed. These are all white. You can see one of the little seeds wanting to fall off. These are from white flowering corms. And there's an example of a dried white flower on the end, and I've got to go through and I trim the stalks off a bit and just trim off any leaves, and I'll be saving the white. Now, I've mentioned that I was doing this, growing all these extra corms for a secret project. Would you like to have a guess at what that secret project is? Because it's actually not so much of a secret project anymore. And I think it would be perfectly fine for me to talk about what the secret project is, because it's not so secret anymore. So if you want to have a guess, you know how people say, oh, comment down below, which is for engagement to help their algorithm. I couldn't care less about the algorithm, and I couldn't care less about the engagement, hence why I'll probably leave up a video where I turn the camera around 45,000 times, and you're probably standing on your head now to see anything. But if you want to comment down below, knowing that I'm not monetized and it's not going to help the algorithm, it's not going to help engagement, I couldn't care less, you can have a guess at what my not so secret project is. So that is probably all I have to say. Let me just have a quick look. I've got, the seed trays had other flowers in them, straw flowers, but they all got eaten by blackbirds. So pesky blackbirds continue. So I'm just going to continue pulling corms out. I check every day for the ones dug up. I come and check the seed and dried ones, and scooch around in the soil looking for more corms. You can see there's a little blackbird hole there. They would have just been looking for worms, but I go through looking for corms. There'll be another dahlia under there, I can tell because of the stake. Oh, that's it trying to break through there. I broke a bit off, but that doesn't matter, it'll come back. I'll leave that exposed so it can come up. Yep, so you can see there's a big job to scooch through and look for tiny, tiny corms through all this soil. But I have absolutely loved it, and I'm going to film proper videos on how to grow from seed come May or maybe June. So thank you for tuning in. Dinky little video again. I'm going to play it back before I upload it, which I never do, just to see how many times I turn the camera around. I think it's hilarious. No proper YouTuber would do that, would they? No. There's another little dahlia coming through. I ran out of room to put dahlias. Oh look, here's an example. There's a nice dry one. There should be a corm on the end. So that will go in the mixed variety, because even though there's tags there, this one had lost its tag due to the blackbirds pulling them out. So I'll go and put that in the mixed tray, and when it dries out I'll trim it down and put it in with the other ones. But that is exactly what I do. I find dry ones like that and up they come. And in fact, look, the blackbird had pulled this one out. It's just sitting on the surface, so that one will come out too. And there's another one there that's just sitting on the surface, been dug up as well, so that all three can come. That's happened since I've been out watering all my dahlias. Oh, come and I'll show you the dahlias. Thought I was finished. Scooching along, scooching along. I'll just sit those on a saucer, come back for that. Let me show you the dahlias. I'm very excited. So some are tiny, and let's go over here. Some are much more established. So I put 8 in each bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one hasn't come up. I'm going to say here somewhere, because I would have put 4 on each side. And I have got some garden beds where they've just come up all on their own. Here. So that one in the middle I did not plant. Look how big it is. I put that one in. There's missing tubers not coming up here, and then there's 3 or 4 in a cluster. But this is the garden bed where I threw all my tubers that I did not believe to have an eye. So looks like I was wrong. I'm getting more. So this bed was covered over in plastic and had potatoes in it. It's just a bit of straw from the chook run. It's a self-seeded poppy. And my first dahlia has flowered. It's a Merton's Peach Single. I've got 3 flowers so far and lots of buds. And I was watching this one show a little bit of colour, and I think, I'm just going to climb through, I think that's going to be a Merton's Peach Single too by the look of it. I'm hoping I haven't got all Merton's Peach Single. As much as I love them, I would like to have a few different varieties. yeah, so some of them have got quite a bit of growth. Some haven't come up, might not ever come up, and some are tiny. So you can see there's buds there ready to crack through. Oh, here's the girls. Hey girls, are you being good? Are you being good? Yes, I can let you out now. The dahlias are getting a bit bigger. I had to leave you in there, didn't I? I had to leave you in there for a little bit because you kept eating the tops off my dahlias, all the little tips. Didn't you? Oh, you're just beautiful. The greyhound's coming back in a few weeks, I have to warn you. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time free ranging around the garden before the greyhound comes back. Okay, girls. You're having some cabbage leaves, are you? Very good. All right, now, oh, see, I had to put dahlias in pots because I just had so many jolly tubers that I just didn't know where to put them. That is a peony, hasn't done anything. Oh, while we're at it, oh, sorry, it was meant to be just ranunculus, but look at my artichoke. I've got lots of artichokes growing. The artichoke game is strong, I'm telling you. Now, you might remember that I showed you the planting of a tuber. Well, I accidentally pulled it out when I was pulling out this pesky nasturtium that just grows everywhere. And here it is. It's looking really sad. I think it's dying. It had such good growth. Let me pull a bit of nasturtium from behind so you can see the dahlia properly. Look at it, it's all flopped. It was standing up really tall, and I accidentally pulled the whole thing out when I was pulling out nasturtium so that the dahlia tubers could see daylight. So I planted it back in, but I think I've disturbed the root system. So that poor dahlia will or won't survive, and I'm tempted to just cut it off and see if it'll grow back. But I'm forever pulling out nasturtiums, and there will be more dahlias. So there's one trying to come up there. But how do they see sun when there's so much nasturtium? Nasturtiums are delicious. If you've never tried one, you can eat the flowers and the leaves. They're great in salads. They have a peppery taste. This is the next garden bed. It's gone wild. It's meant to be a flower bed, and it's just full of, has got some nice things, like look at that yarrow over there, yellow, and it's got some calendula yellow just in the back there. But like, I really badly need to pull out this nasturtium because there are other things under there, including dahlias, which will not come up. And this gigantic weed, which I haven't pulled because it's prickly, I have to put gloves on. And as you know, I often garden without gloves. A self-seeded poppy. And look at this coming back for the year. I do know that there's a dahlia in here coming up, and there's one there coming up, and there's one just right next to the compost bin coming up. The lupins were beautiful, but you can see there's a couple still in flower, but most have gone to seed. Anyway, I'm going to stop because there's look, more feverfew. Isn't it just pretty? I'm going to stop because it was meant to be a look at the progress of the ranunculus video, and of course I got carried away because I just can't stop talking. Basically, I just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. It is chaotic, but you're going to see a bit of a change in the garden because I'm going to pull a lot of things out and try and make it look tidy. I actually love the messy chaos of my garden, but I need to consolidate and fix this quagmire of a mess. That's my current project. All the ranunculus coming out are, and that. And then I'm going to try the peas and snow peas and sugar snaps up the back. I'm still eating them every day. I've just feasted on a whole bunch of peas just in the last little while. And like, all the broad beans are ready. But I just come along like I've been saving seed where it's dying off. But there's still heaps and heaps and heaps of little snow peas, sugar snaps, whatever. So I'm just constantly pulling them off and eating them. And I can't keep up. I grew too many for just me. The chooks like the peas, but they don't like the pods. So I'm going to harvest the broad beans, all of them, tomorrow, and I might make a falafel. But yeah, it's messy. All right, goodbye from Harriet, Henrietta, and me. Thank you for coming and checking out Greeny's garden. Hooroo. Oh, it's 19 minutes, crazy. Bye.